Welcome to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show, where you get advice you can trust. From home selling tips to investing, this is the talk show that will help you make the most money when selling your most valuable asset and save the most money when buying. Now here are your hosts, Dave McKay, along with Wally Kerr, broker and founder of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty in Oklahoma City.
Well, welcome. This is the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show. I'm Dave McKay, but more importantly, they are Wally and Cindy Kerr. How are we doing today?
I don't hear any applause. Can you pipe some applause in on this deal? There we go. Okay. Hey, I'm feeling much more important. Dave, good. How you doing this morning? It's cold again this morning.
Yes,
what happened?
Not as bad as last weekend, though, so I will take it. We had some warmer temperatures this week, a heat wave up into the 40s. You know what? I'm done. I'm ready for spring and summer.
Me too. And I hope none of our listeners had any pipes break. We didn't talk about last week. We talked about some winter tips, but forgot to talk about those styrofoam insulators that you can put on your outside faucets to keep them from freezing up. And so winter's still here. If you don't have any of those, probably can't get any right now, but I'd watch the hardware stores to try to get a few of those because we may get another blast or so this winter.
And once again, the show is brought to you by Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage and Best Protect Roofing and Construction. And Wally, what are our topics for today?
Selling this time of year, let's talk about options for home sellers, including cash offers, because the market has changed.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes, Dave. Cindy and I have a House Talk segment today entitled Costly Mistakes When Purchasing a New Home, like from a builder. Got some really interesting thoughts for you today that I think will be helpful. We're going to talk about carpooling for homes today.
Okay.
Carpooling for homes. You're just going to say okay on this one, and we'll get there,
you
right?
have no idea.
I'm a
but
clean slate.
You're
it's
all
a clean
ears.
slate. I'm ready to listen.
We're going to wrap up today with home warranty plans. Most people understand you can buy a warranty plan. My Aunt Pat always bought one, and when her home warranty expired, she renewed it every year. She lived in a place where there was a lot of sediment in the water over in Jones, Oklahoma, and she was constantly having to fix those toilets. So she bought a home warranty plan, and she said, all I do is call the warranty company, and they come out and fix my toilets.
Nice.
And she had a bunch of toilets in that house. So we're going to talk about home warranty plans, and are they worth the money?
And as always, if you can't catch the show live, all of the episodes are available for download at the major podcast apps and at wallytalkshouses.com.
Right.
That's a fantastic place. Every topic, Wally, is sorted. You can just search by topic and jump right into those, which I think is amazing.
We've done 51 shows this week.
A year's
Dave.
worth of shows.
Next week will be our one-year anniversary, and that's the idea is for people to be able to look at the topics and kind of sort through and just click and either listen or download that show, whether you listen at the gym or download it or listen while you work. We've got a lot of really great topics that we've covered, over 140 topics over the last year. If you like real estate and want to become a real estate expert, I can promise you there's enough knowledge there that you can immerse yourself with to where you will learn so much more than you know today about real estate. And that's the goal of our show, right, Cindy?
You know, that's right. And I find that whenever we go to dinner parties, gatherings, people love to talk about real estate. So I think people are very interested in it. And even if you don't have a question on your mind right now, I think you'll find all the podcast information really interesting.
And you know how people like to binge watch their shows? I would just say start with episode 1 and binge listen.
That's right.
Do it when you hop on the treadmill.
They go back to show number 1, show number 2. They may say, this isn't very good. I'm not going to go listen to any more of these.
You might be right.
We've come along here a little ways, so see what you think if you start listening to shows. We've probably had some improvement over the months and really enjoy what we're doing together today.
And lastly, I'll say, if you can't catch us on Saturday, get the replays at noon on Sunday right here on KOKC as well. We'll be back to talk a couple of big questions. What effect are interest rates having for home sellers, and what are the best options to consider in the current market in 2 minutes?
To schedule an appointment with Wally Kerr to help you or a family member buy or sell a home, call or text at 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Wally will be right back with more of the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show right here on KOKC.
Looking for a cash offer for your home? If so, do you want to see just one offer, or would you prefer to receive multiple cash offers and you get to choose the one you want? IWantMultipleOffers.com is the place to go. And that's exactly what you'll get fast. You choose the closing date, no open houses, no strangers in your home, and no waiting to receive an offer. You can sell as is. Today we know that homeowners like you want options. Our cash offer program, where you receive multiple offers, not just one, allows you to do what you want to do. If the cash offers aren't quite as high as you want, you still have the option of placing your home for sale for only as long as you want. 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, you choose. And if it's not sold in that agreed period, you can take any one of the cash offers, including one from us. Visit iwantmultipleoffers.com. Get the options you want, or just give us a call today. Wally and Cindy Kerr at your home sold guaranteed realty at 330-3000.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful, from knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Stoke with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS 7233, Equal Housing Lender.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
You know, we did discuss a little bit of the weather last week, but we're going to discuss the weather in relation to selling your home, selling this time of the year. I know just because of seasonality that spring and summer are the big selling months, especially
Right.
if you have families.
Typically so, unless
Yes.
rates are 3%.
Well,
right?
that's right. Yes, yes. And of course, there are different instances where people are moving because of family, because of job. So this time of the year, let's talk about the differences and how interesting it is to sell in this time of the year because of the weather. What kind of challenges? Are there any advantages?
First, I'll give you a few numbers to give you an idea of what the market's doing right now. So the last 30 days, there's been about 2,000 new listings on the Oklahoma City multi-list. And out of those, now this is a surprise, Dave, about 2,000 new listings, and only 472 of those homes that went on the market, those 2,000 homes, have sold in the first 30 days on the market.
Okay.
It's only about 24%. How does that compare to 2 years ago when houses were on the market 4 days and selling?
Yes.
So we're
Yes.
talking less than 25% of the homes that have come on the market over the last 30 days have actually already gone under contract. About 2,000 new listings over the last 30 days. Total number of properties that have gone under contract, about 1,640. So still outpacing with new listings, but I am noticing something going on. And that is all of a sudden I can begin to see the number of homes for sale beginning to decrease now. And that's because fewer people are selling because they're locked into their current mortgage rate.
Yes.
And here come the buyers again. Now, not in masses, but the buyers are wanting to buy. But yeah, how does the weather affect? It certainly was slower over the last couple of weeks. You know, the holidays took a little bit of a toll on sales, of course. It's pretty slow at the office over about a 4 to 5 day period,
Okay.
including last week, just when everybody was preparing for the cold. But you're right. Even if it's extreme cold, if you've got a job transfer or if you've got a family need or moving out of town, certainly you're buying or selling this time of year. Do buyers want to get out and shop? They'd prefer to stay away from those really cold days. But I think a lot of it has to do with necessity. Don't you, Cindy?
One other thing they think about is buying a home. They have to move in this cold weather. And I'll tell you a funny story that is just so clear to me. I had a buyer who bought a house, and the day of closing, I went over there to support them, and they were moving a grand piano, and there was an ice storm. And the grand piano was unloaded, and it was sliding down their sidewalk to their home. So, you know, you think about shopping in this weather, you think about buying, but then you got to think about moving, too. So, you know, that does present a problem.
Sellers are the same way. It's necessity. Now, the seller gets a job transfer. They're looking for someone to come look at their home today, not last week. They don't care whether it's cold or not. right? They're looking for a buyer.
Sure.
So the weather has some effect, but home sales are pretty decent right now. I just want to encourage home sellers today to stop looking at these cash offers as being the savior. Cindy and I talked about this today on the way up to do the show with you, and the truth is already we see the number of homes, again, going down. We're headed towards spring. The buyer demand's going to pick up. We're going to get back into this same competition deal for buyers this coming year. So if you're a home seller and you're thinking, I think I'd just like to go this cash offer route, I hear these investors on the radio. They're saying I can sell my home and they'll pay my closing costs. Big deal. A seller's closing costs, Dave, are about $1,500. Now, there's a real estate fee if they list, of course. But when they list, they're putting their home on the market for more people to see.
That's right. It's full retail value. And I always like to differentiate because when an investor buys your home, they're building in a profit margin, a, so to speak, middleman, and you're giving that profit to them as opposed to selling your home for full retail value, what the market will bear.
We've all bought a new car. We've all gone to the dealership, and how easy and convenient is it to just hand over the keys to your old car and they'll
That's a really good
they'll give you
point.
something for it, and something that you're like, okay, I'll go ahead and take it, because why? You're very enamored with the brand new car
That's
that you're
right.
about to drive out. And it's no different in homes. If you want the actual people that want to live in that house, they're going to pay the money to live
Well,
in
that's
that
the big
house.
one, Dave. A lot of investors' formula, Dave, is they'll give you around 75% of market value minus any needed repairs. And if our market were at a point where we were loaded with listings and there was too much inventory, sure, I can see the merit in that, but it's actually totally opposite of that, Dave. There's not enough homes for sale right now. And there's a lot of home buyers that are ready, but they're waiting for the right home to come on the market.
And talk about, Wally, another real positive thing that somebody can do. Talk about our guaranteed sale program.
So we've got different options available. First thing I'd say today is, let's say you're listening or you know someone today that's thinking about taking a cash offer, and they realize they're probably going to leave some money on the table. I can promise you, if you went to that investor and said, I want to think about it for 10 days, go bust your home onto the market for 10 days and watch what happens in this current marketplace. And if you went and listed your home for sale for even 5 or 10% above what the investor is offering, you're going to walk away with more money.
That's right.
It's not going to be headache.
Yes.
So we offer that option. And within 15 minutes today, Dave, I can have 4 offers on any home that an owner can look at and have the opportunity to take, or you can enter into our guaranteed home sale program that says Cindy and I will place your home on the market, and if it's not sold in an agreed period, that we'll buy it at a price that we all agree to up front. And these are good options for sellers.
That's the thing I like about our guaranteed sale program is the fact that it's a transparent program and a seller's going to know up front what would be offered on their house.
Absolutely. There's just no reason to accept a cash offer today. Tell you what, text us or call us at 330-3000. If you'd prefer to just text instead, feel free to do so. I've been running that service for 3 or 4 years where you could text your address in, tell me a condition on a scale of 1 to 10, what you think the condition of the property is, and I'll shoot you a range. It's going to be pretty tight, normally in a $10,000 to $15,000 range. You might look and say, well, that looks pretty good to me. Tell you what, maybe I'd like to invite Wally or Cindy to come out and see my home, do a walkthrough, and before I just go take a cash offer, see what they'd be willing to pay, what they think their investors would pay, and then can I just put my house on the market for 10 days or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and if it doesn't sell, I'll bet that investor would still buy my home.
That's basically covering the costly mistakes that you can make when selling your home, which let's just go right into our house talk segment today, because it's costly mistakes when purchasing a new home. So I know lots of people are buying new when they can't find what they want. How much looking and shopping should the average home buyer do? Like, how many homes do you really need to look at to find really what you want?
You've got to start with location. That's going to be the first thing, because you can't change, as you know, the old axiom, you can't change the location. So whether it's brand new or whether it's a resale home, location is the most important thing.
I agree. And let's go back to the cars here that you were just talking about a minute ago. How many times do you walk onto a lot and you love this car, and you get locked in and you don't go look at anything else. And then they're coming out to look at your used car and to give in that trade-in value. So, but then in your defense, Cindy, if somebody only wants to live in one area of town and there's only one home builder in that area, you're kind of locked into that builder, aren't you?
That's true.
So I would say try not to get too overexcited and run out and buy a home before you know what you've done. I've read articles where a lot of Gen Zs and millennials bought homes in 2021 and 2022. They felt like they got into a rush because there were bidding wars on homes, and they actually felt like they bought too fast and paid too much.
Boy, I've been reading that too. You know what? Buyer's remorse because of all that. Some of them even waived their inspections. Now they're in a home that's got some inherent system and component problems, but they waived their inspections because the bidding wars were so fierce.
So that's interesting you brought that up, Cindy. How many times have we seen home buyers go contract with a builder? The builder says, hey, you've got a 1-year warranty, and so the buyer completely passes on a home inspection. And how prudent is that to do?
It is not prudent, and I'll tell you what, I don't think everybody realizes that it's very standard to get a home inspection, and it's certainly recommended when you buy a brand new home. Don't just take the fact that you have a 1-year builder's warranty for granted. Go ahead and get a home inspection.
I would think of things like the neighborhood HOA fees, if you haven't investigated that. Maybe you talk about location, but how is it in reference to where you work? Is it an easy route to work or not?
Right.
And oh, by the way, if you're a young married couple, are you going to have a kid soon, or are you going to have triplets?
Yeah.
And now you need extra bedrooms, and you didn't plan on it because, it was a cute little cottage home. And now, boom, you have to sell right away after being in the house for just 2.5 years.
Well, let's go back to what you said about is it close to work? How about the traffic in the mornings and the evenings?
Yes.
You're going to go make that trek if you don't already know that intersection. Look at the tie-ups, how long the stoplights take. Another really, really big one today is that a lot of these builders will tell you and say, well, there's a 1-year warranty. It's going to cover your furnace and your oven and your air conditioner condenser and your roof shingles. But what about the insulation? What about when you dig deep into the cabinets? Are they nailed together or tacked together well? How's the finish work on the outside? There's things up in the attic that you can't see. Why just walk in, Cindy, and just buy a home based on what you see cosmetically on the outside?
And some people think because the builder got a city inspection and a permit that everything is A-OK. But Wally and I have sat in on a lot of these inspections with brand new homes, and it's amazing all the little details. I remember one where the breakfast bar didn't have supporting corbels underneath it, and if you put your elbows on it, it would almost fall off. A city inspector didn't catch that. It wasn't a, quote, code violation. But these are the things that are just going to dog you once you buy that home and live in it.
And let's go back to your question about HOA. Dave, I've had a lot of homeowners over the years that say, I have no idea what the HOA is doing with my money. I'm paying these fees. We don't ever have a party. I can't imagine it's costing this much to go in and maintain the outside, the exterior maintenance, or the entry. What are they doing with my money? So those are things that, because you mentioned HOA, I think that's a really important one. I'd also be careful about factoring in delays. You know, we've kind of gotten past this COVID deal in the supply chain, but think about this. If there's not as many existing homes on the market, where are people going to turn?
New homes.
Brand new homes, right? So how many can a builder take on? How many do they have under contract? That's probably a good question to ask.
Yes.
These are things that Cindy and I think through when we help someone purchase a brand new home. It's the inspection process. It's going through every page of the contract and looking at every term. And Cindy brought up a good one as we were talking about this segment today, and that is be very careful about assuming what's included with what you're paying for.
Okay.
That's right. When you go through a model home, some builders do have little stickies that say, this is an upgrade. You know, this fireplace is an upgrade.
Okay.
But some don't. And you're enamored with these model homes. You go through and they're just beautiful. But you find out that a lot of what you see is an upgrade.
Another thing that we have to be careful about here is factoring in enough time to get that home done. You sell your home, you sign a 1-year lease, and all of a sudden, at the end of your 1-year lease, you've gone to an apartment, you've gone to a lease home, and they say, hey, Dave, tell you what, you've either got to sign another year or you need to move out, and you're thinking, why did I move out of my home in the first place and sell it? I'm back in the same situation again. Last thing I've got on the list today, Dave, on costly mistakes when purchasing a new home is haggling over the wrong things. So think about buying a home and planning to live in it for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Wouldn't you prefer to have a little more energy efficient heat and air system?
Yes, absolutely.
That's going to save you money every single month you live in it? So before you go haggle over changing this door or putting in a doggy door or putting door hardware on, how about getting down to the nuts and bolts of, hey, I'd like to have a little nicer appliance package. I'd like to have a more energy efficient window. I'd like my heat and air system to be more efficient. These are the ins and outs of buying a brand new home. I think we mentioned enough today, Dave, to let people understand that they do need a realtor involved to help them negotiate, understand the contract, understand the financial part of this, what things they maybe should be asking for that they wouldn't think about on their own. We're here to help. Can call anytime. Again, 330-3000. Cindy and me and our team will help you make a great decision about buying a new home.
We're going to take a quick break and talk Wally's Weekly Wisdom next. So this is going to be a very interesting topic because we're going to discuss home inspections. We've done that before, but home inspections in the weather like we just had last week. This should be interesting.
Right.
Stick around.
To schedule an appointment with Wally Kerr to help you or a family member buy or sell a home, call or text at 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Wally will be right back with more of the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show right here on KOKC.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful, from knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Stoke with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS 7233, Equal Housing Lender.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
Hey, home buyers, let's talk turkey for a minute. Would you choose a healthy economy or lower interest rates? As of January 5th, the U.S. jobs report says we're in a healthy economy with a larger increase in jobs in the U.S. That leads us to believe the Fed will wait even longer until it begins to reduce its rate. Meantime, the demand for homes always picks up in the spring, with many buyers chasing the same home, and that means more competition for you. With home prices on the rise, doesn't it make sense to get in the market now? A $300,000 home that increases just 2% over the next year will increase $6,000 in value. I'm Wally Kerr, and my team and I offer rock-solid advice about buying a home in a market like this one, where home prices are going up and fewer homes are for sale. Call Kerr Team today at 330-3000 and tell us you're ready to get started with the process. I promise you'll have a great experience working with my team. Call us today at 330-3000.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
We're back, and it's time for Wally's Weekly Wisdom. Now we're going to discuss the weather and its effect on home inspections. This is going to be interesting because I probably think that home inspectors hate this kind of weather. They want to go out when it's 72 and walk around the house and go up in the attic.
No, they want to golf when it's 72, Dave.
Okay. Yes, you're right. So how hard is it to get your home inspected this kind of weather? And what did they have to do? And how is it a different process?
I think the first one I'm going to hit here is straight to the point, and that's with an HVAC system. So a residential HVAC system, you can't run that air conditioner unit when it's really cool outside and get accurate readings.
Sure.
And that's the reason the home inspector, or I really recommend an HVAC specialist. Home inspectors can do a pretty good job there, and they'll check input and output temperatures, but Cindy and I believe in hiring a heat and air company to do that. Why? because those components are $7, $8, $10, $12, $15,000 as these
Yes.
systems get more efficient. So the point here is, yeah, if it's cold outside, you can check the furnace pretty easily, right? You
Yes.
get heat. Can you run the furnace during the summer and get accurate temperature readings? Yeah, sure. It's going to be warm air. It's gas heat in most
Yes.
cases, not the air conditioner. So it's supposed to be at least 65 degrees for 2 to 3 hours outside to get accurate readings on an air conditioner unit. So if you're buying a home in January and you're buying one right now, going through the weather that we've seen over the last 10 days or so, I don't actually know how you go in and get an accurate inspection on an air conditioning system that's several years old or many years old.
Okay, I got something. So, we preach preventative maintenance. And if during the spring and maybe the fall or so, you have your heat and air guy come out, do a full system check and make sure everything's running fine. Does that hold value when you're selling the home in April, March? You can say, hey, just this past September, everything checked out. Here are the experts and everything. So I think,
100%.
Yes.
it's like taking those pictures of your home in the summer and you sell it
With
in
the
the
pool.
winter. Yeah, and all
With
the
everything
flowers.
green. That's
Yeah,
right.
everything's
Sure.
green and stuff. So it's no different.
That is a
You
great
basically did my
way
job
to
here is done.
demonstrate. Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to summarize this pretty easily. It's
Okay.
really pretty simple. Watch the weather. Typically, we get a warm day in Oklahoma. Everybody knows how that works. It's 65 one day and it's 16 the next.
Yes.
So if you're buying a home, look at the weather, book a heat and air company in advance to where it's a time that's warm enough. Let's say you go through 10 days and it doesn't get warm enough, Dave. I could go type up an addendum from one of my buyers that said, the buyer reserves the right to check the air conditioning system on any day prior to closing, and the seller is to repair or replace anything not in working order. Because it is a cold time of year, hard time to check that really expensive
Sure.
system. Think about the same thing. If it's going to rain, a roofer probably doesn't want to get up and walk around on the roof, especially if it's snowy
yes.
or if it's icy. Watch crawl spaces. A lot of older homes are not built on a slab. So in one way, you might think, Dave, I don't want to book an inspection when it's rainy outside because the inspector might not want to crawl into the house. It might be the best thing you ever did.
Especially for your roof. Yes. right?
And that's absolutely right. I always loved showing homes after rain. Now, you do have to be careful when you walk in, you don't muddy up the house. But the first thing I would do is look up on the ceiling as we walked through. Significant rainstorm, let's see if there's been any leaking.
Is there any on the ceilings? Where's the water around the house? But more
Yes.
importantly, crawl spaces. What if that water comes off the house and drains right underneath the home?
Oh, yes.
I think you had that situation with
that
your first
very
house,
well.
didn't you?
I did.
You had a little sauna under your house.
I had a floor furnace underneath the home, and the water wasn't draining. It went underneath the home and flooded the floor furnace, and I had no heat in the winter.
That was before you
Oh.
were in real estate.
It
many
was.
a
That
moon
was
ago.
1982. But the key, Dave, is water underneath the home can cause foundation problems. The softer that soil gets and the longer it stays, wet, the foundation of the home can begin to move. So inclement weather can actually be a good thing. Checking for water, checking for leaks, and checking your HVAC systems. It's better to have some nicer weather. Might be a good idea if it rains and you're looking at a home or it's under contract, maybe just call up and say, hey, could I run back over? It's raining outside. It's raining hard. And I'd like to have 10 minutes to look at the home
And
while it's
we've had
raining.
buyers do that and recommended that.
The best thing is just call the experts, have them come out. They'll recommend the best times to come out. If it just happens to be cold weather, maybe they can formulate a plan for you. Okay, let's jump into our second House Talk segment of the day. And you mentioned carpooling for homes. I'm all ears. I just picture a bunch of people ready to buy, and they all jump in a van and they're cruising around the metro. What is carpooling for homes?
Kind of it. We did that with investors years ago and actually
Okay.
rented a minivan, a little
Okay.
commercial van,
Yes.
and put investors in it when there was a time where there were a lot of repossessed homes on the market. They kind of all look at each other funny, but they got in the van, and we took them on a tour around town, and they look at homes for sale. But, yeah, carpooling here is a little bit different. This is potentially buying a home, and Dave, we're seeing this a lot across the United States because home affordability is challenged so much right
Yes.
now. Rates are higher, taxes are higher, interest rates are higher, so payments have gotten so high that sometimes friends are buying homes together. They're just saying, gosh, we both need a home.
Yeah.
And we both would like to have the benefits and tax deduction of home ownership. So let's just go buy a home together, which is what we call carpooling for homes. In other words, you're jumping in the same car with the same realtor and looking at the same homes together. And this can be a good thing, but there can also be some inherent challenges, right, Cindy?
That's right. You know, years ago, you actually had to be married to get a mortgage years and years ago. But now 2 people who have good credit can get a mortgage together, which sounds awesome. But what are some of those pitfalls? Well, you really almost need, like Wally said, a prenup. You need to talk about what if. What if one of you gets transferred?
What if we don't stay together,
What if
right?
we don't stay together? What if one of us gets married and wants to move? We need each other's income. We're both on the mortgage to make this payment. How are you going to work that out?
It really makes sense because the idea of splitting bills as opposed to living alone.
Sure.
Hey, I like my thermostat 70. Hey, I can live with 70. Hey, we should be splitting bills. Dave, in our Edmond office, we actually share our office with Best Protect Roofing and Construction because they're such a great partner for us. We got a really nice copy machine there. It sure made sense for the 2 of us to share the cost of that copier together. Why not do the same thing with your taxes and your insurance on a home and the mortgage payment and splitting bills? So if you can figure out a way to make that work, I think the thing that Cindy and I feel is most important is it's a friendship, but it's really a business transaction.
Yeah.
So you need a professional agreement. You need a prenuptial agreement that says, we think this is going to work, but if it doesn't, what happens if one person takes a job and the other one can't qualify to take over the home? This is the big one.
That is a huge one because people tend to think, well, I'll just go ahead, give you some money and
deed it over.
But, you know, the problem is that person is still on the mortgage. Now they don't own the home, but they're still liable on the mortgage. So it becomes a lot more involved.
Yeah, what happens if this person, your roommate, if you will, moves out, gives you money for equity, signs a deed over which says, yeah, it's your home, but you're still on the mortgage? What happens if that person stops making payments on the house?
Yes.
And now you've moved to Portland and you suddenly get notification that the home is in foreclosure and your credit's been ruined.
And you can't buy anything in Portland. You know, it's just not that simple. You absolutely have to refinance when you do something like this.
So if you take the necessary precautions and do everything kind of to the letter, you have an agreement, everything's good. I think this is a great situation for maybe you get 3 guys together just out of college. And it's like, hey, we always saw that old house on the corner of campus. We all live in the same town. Scrape some dollars together, buy that house. And if they're in that house for a couple of years and do a little work to it, maybe they're in it for 3-4 years, maybe 5 years, a little bit of a nest egg when they all decide, hey, let's sell it. I'm getting married. You 2 go get an apartment or whatever. I would think that's a really good win for the 3 of you if everything is to the letter and done right.
You know, the way it would be to the letter and clean is if the 3 paid cash. If all 3 of them saved up enough money to pay cash, then you don't have that issue of a mortgage looming if one of them leaves and the other one doesn't make the payment. It becomes much more complicated when you're all going on a mortgage.
It's making the payment. It's qualifying on your own. I mean, I think it would be awesome for 2 people to buy together. Maybe they're both making $60,000 a year. They both have great credit. That's a little easier if one person could qualify on their own. On $60,000. So again, assume one person leaves and the other one's got to go in and refinance the deal, get the person off the mortgage, off of the deed, and they're starting over clean. I want to go back and tell you, I don't like the idea of 3 guys or 3 girls buying together, or 3 ladies, 3 men, whatever it is. Almost too many cooks in the stew. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm thinking Animal House because that's what I want, and that was my college experience a little bit.
Oh my!
So we're not going to.
We've got a little dark side there to Dave. We may have to explore here on the show.
Let's quickly move on. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to discuss home warranty plans. Are they worth the money? We're going to talk about that coming up next.
To schedule an appointment with Wally Kerr to help you or a family member buy or sell a home, call or text at 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Wally will be right back with more of the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show right here on KOKC.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful, from knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Stoke with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS 7233, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking for a cash offer for your home? If so, do you want to see just one offer, or would you prefer to receive multiple cash offers and you get to choose the one you want? IWantMultipleOffers.com is the place to go. And that's exactly what you'll get fast. You choose the closing date, no open houses, no strangers in your home, and no waiting to receive an offer. You can sell as is. Today we know that homeowners like you want options. Our cash offer program, where you receive multiple offers, not just one, allows you to do what you want to do. If the cash offers aren't quite as high as you want, you still have the option of placing your home for sale for only as long as you want. 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, you choose. And if it's not sold in that agreed period, you can take any one of the cash offers, including one from us. Visit IWantMultipleOffers.com. Get the options you want, or just give us a call today. Wally and Cindy Kerr at your home sold guaranteed realty at 330-3000.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
Well, guys, just before the break, I kind of teased we're going to talk about home warranty plans. There's the commercials on late night TV preaching kind of worst case scenario. I can see where it could be a good investment. Maybe there are some places that maybe it's not a good investment. You have some real case scenarios where it's paid off. And I just used the word investment twice. I wouldn't have thought about a home warranty plan as an investment until over the previous 11 months. And now I've kind of seen the silver lining with things like this. Tell me, are they worth it? And is it a good investment? And are there instances where it could be a bad investment if it just went sideways?
You know, I like to think about, Dave, a home warranty kind of like an insurance policy. So
Sure.
if you're someone who is a saver and you've got a slush fund, you've got reserves, it's probably going to be cheaper for you to hire a contractor to do repairs because you have the funds to do it. You have to remember that a home warranty company has built-in profit. But if you don't have that slush fund, it's sure nice to know you've got, quote, that insurance policy. And also home warranty companies have contractors they can refer. Now, Wally and I keep lists of great contractors, and we are always glad to share that with our listeners and our customers, our clients. But that's kind of the difference. Do you have the funds to cover those things? And are you a risk taker? You know, if you are someone who wants to save the money and has got the funds to do that, great. If you're kind of somebody who's a little nervous about that, not a risk taker, you might feel better about having that home warranty, that insurance policy.
I'm a pretty big advocate on these policies, Dave. First thing I guess I should say is the older the home, probably the more likely is I'm going to recommend it, right?
True.
Right.
A 2 or 3 or 4-year-old home with appliances and plumbing, electrical and HVAC and water heater that's newer, probably not going to see very many issues.
You know, what's the first thing on a 2-year-old home, 3-year-old home? Probably statistically the first thing that might go out.
I'd say the air conditioner condenser.
I'm going to say dishwasher.
Oh,
Well, that's a good point.
I'm going to say
can see
on
that.
a builder home with a builder grade appliance package, probably that dishwasher.
Now, what is it? I thought you were supposed to stand at the sink with a dishcloth. That's what Cindy
Yes.
makes me do in the little rack where you dry the dishes.
That's right.
I wondered what that hole in the cabinet there was with that little faceplate on it.
You know, but my point is, a cost of a dishwasher is pretty cheap. And so if it's a newer home, like Wally talks about this being advantageous for an older home, on a newer home, maybe it's going to cover the dishwasher and there's still a deductible. But on an older home, you get into some major costs.
I still think the air conditioner condenser, that outside unit, Dave,
Yes.
as they've gotten more efficient, they've become more expensive. And we've talked about the fact that I've heard HVAC contractors say that the life expectancy of those units have gone down as the efficiency has gone up.
Interesting.
So what's the old joke? You ever said the warranty ran out on my item here and it quit the day after?
Oh, yes.
So think about an air conditioner unit outside. Those probably have a 2 or 3 year, maybe a 5-year warranty on them. So what happens if one of those babies goes out? You're talking $3,000-$4,000
Yes.
to replace that?
Yes.
As opposed to the cost of a warranty plan, which is typically in the $500 to $600 range for basic coverage. That's electrical, that's plumbing, water heater, heat and air system, appliances. Now, some of these policies, Dave, you could buy additional coverage that will actually cover your own appliances. Even if your washer, dryer, and refrigerator are 10 years old, you can get your well, you can get your septic covered, you can get a swimming pool, you can get a spa. There's a lot of additional coverages that are available with these warranty plans, but here's the way I look at it. I'm going to make it real logical. You go agree to buy a home today for $250,000, and you've got your payment all worked up, and you figure out what that's going to be. And then all of a sudden you're thinking, maybe I need to get one of those warranty plans. I heard I could get a good one for $600. Gosh, Dave, go make your purchase price $250,600 instead of $250,000.
Oh, okay.
Add it back into the price, finance it in. You're probably talking about $5, $6, $7 a month more on your monthly payment. You bought a home, kind of cleaned out some of your down payment and closing cost money. Your savings account took a pretty big hit.
Yes.
What you don't need to do is be replacing major mechanical systems. I've seen some builders where they had plumbing issues. They were in the slab and they had to go in and bust into a slab.
Wow.
But if it doesn't happen within the first year after construction, the builder is relieved of that responsibility.
We had
it's a
that
1-year
with
warranty.
my sister-in-law's home. It was an outside spigot that froze,
Oh, boy.
and the line broke during the spring, and it all came inside the wall, flooded the carpet. They don't go in that room a whole lot, and they were walking down the hall, and the carpet went squish,
Squish,
squish.
squish.
Oh,
Ooh,
no. Open
no.
that door. And it was
A
the
wall
walls
of
were
water.
soggy and everything. And they've been in the home a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, a couple of years, it's brand new. But it just, that pipe burst and it set them back a little bit.
Well, if you're listening today, as we get into the thaw here and we begin to thaw out some, go turn on your water hydrants outside, but then immediately check inside your home. If you don't see much water coming out of your hydrant and you think it looks really limited, you may have actually had a break inside the wall during
Yes.
this weather that we had. A lot of nights below 10 degrees and close to zero. And actually, this is the time of year that happens, Dave, is plumbing breaks that take several days to thaw out. And they often happen on those outside hydrants.
And the problem I had once was Kim called me and said, we have a problem. There's this little mound in the middle of the backyard, and I didn't see it this morning, and it looks like a hill. And it wasn't very big, but it was big in relation to, and I hurried up, got home, and it was squishy. And we had one of the lines for the sprinkler system broke.
Yes.
And it was just filling that area up, and it was coming up. And so I went and shut it off. But I had some fun poking holes in it and
Say,
seeing
that's-
little sprouts of water come
You
shooting
sound
out
like
of
a
the
big
line.
gopher to me. I was afraid you were
I had a
talking about
gopher on my mind when
some
you
critter
said
coming
that.
down.
Well, and I knew that I can laugh about it now, and I laughed then because it was out in the yard.
Yes.
If that issue is a squishy rug or something like that and it's in the house,
Yikes.
much larger
No
problem.
laughing.
No laughing then. So, yes, I kind of had some experience with that.
Dave, on these warranty plans, you can choose your deductible. So some people will take a plan that's a little cheaper and choose like $100 deductible, which is still pretty low. I mean, contractors' prices have gone up so much.
That's right.
Cindy, you were in a deal recently where a hot water heater had to be replaced, just a conventional tank. How much was that?
That's right. It was $2,000, and I can remember not long ago when $600 to $800 was the cost. But now to get a plumber out there in the garage, put it on a stand, it was $2,000, and that's a significant amount of money.
Here's a trick for our listeners. If you ever have to have a hot water heater replaced and it's a tank itself, not a tankless, drain your tank before the plumber arrives. Because you're going to get charged $110 an hour for them to sit in their truck and just oversee the draining of that tank. But you can save yourself at least $100 there. You can choose deductibles. One of the home warranty companies that we really like, Dave, this is really cool. You get to pick your own contractor.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a heat and air company that you already trust, an electrician, a plumber, you don't have to go with somebody chosen by the home warranty company. That contractor may not have a real great business and a lot of loyal customers, and that's why they need to work with a warranty company, is to build their book of business. I like the idea of using a warranty plan where you can pick your own contractor, call them on the phone, have them come out and diagnose the problem. Then they call the warranty plan and the warranty company, and they're paid on the spot. That's one of our favorite warranties, and if you want to know which one that is, shoot us a text message.
Yeah.
And, be careful about who you choose. You can do your research online. Go see what consumers have to say. Don't just trust us.
And one other feature of some home warranty companies is the fact that they will cover the period of time while your house is listed. So if something goes wrong and it's not under contract yet, that is still covered.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that gives you some peace of mind, too. And then the great part is it transfers to your new buyer.
For the simpleton like me, how would you tell me to go research a warranty company? How do I pick what's best for me?
Cindy said it best earlier. It's basically an insurance policy.
Yes.
So with any insurance, read what's covered, read what the exclusions are, and read how much the dollar limitations are. And that's how you want to choose these companies, along with research online. Go type in best home warranty companies and look for consumer reviews. I'll tell you that some of those policies, you just call an 800 number and sign up and you're in business. I like home warranties, Dave. With the cost of labor and materials today, I think they're a worthy buy for most home buyers.
Great information. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes to wrap up the show.
To schedule an appointment with Wally Kerr to help you or a family member buy or sell a home, call or text at 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Wally will be right back with more of the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show right here on KOKC.
Hey, home buyers, let's talk turkey for a minute. Would you choose a healthy economy or lower interest rates? As of January 5th, the U.S. jobs report says we're in a healthy economy with a larger increase in jobs in the U.S. That leads us to believe the Fed will wait even longer until it begins to reduce its rate. Meantime, the demand for homes always picks up in the spring, with many buyers chasing the same home, and that means more competition for you. With home prices on the rise, doesn't it make sense to get in the market now? A $300,000 home that increases just 2% over the next year will increase $6,000 in value. I'm Wally Kerr, and my team and I offer rock-solid advice about buying a home in a market like this one, where home prices are going up and fewer homes are for sale. Call Kerr Team today at 330-3000 and tell us you're ready to get started with the process. I promise you'll have a great experience working with my team. Call us today at 330-3000.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful, from knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Stoke with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS
NMLS 7233, Equal Housing Lender.
Buying or selling a home? Is your older home having issues in the crawl space or attic? Is your new home about to reach the end of its 1-year warranty? Todd Stewart, owner of Oklahoma Home Inspection Service, has been serving residential and commercial clients since 1985. He will give you the confidence of knowing your building systems are safe and operating as they should. Enjoy the peace of mind you deserve. Call Oklahoma Home Inspection Service today at 405-366-8889. That's 405-366-8889.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
I told you before, I start getting a lot of articles and a lot of things fed my way because I am so deep in real estate now since the last year. I've seen a lot of mixed messages in the media. It's a great time to buy. It's a horrible time to buy. Rates are going up. Rates are going down. What's going on, Wally?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going? Love Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
So, some interesting information came out on Tuesday, Dave. And
Okay.
Federal Reserve's Governor Christopher Waller said this last Tuesday that he expects the Fed to cut rates this year, but he stressed that there's no need for the central bank to cut rates quickly because the economy remains in good shape. And those remarks, as you can guess, cooled a lot of optimism for cuts to begin in March, and I think we talked about that last week. He also said that in many previous cycles, the Fed has cut rates reactively and has done so often by large amounts. And you and I saw that. They were cutting rates and doing all these decreases and doing them in big numbers to stimulate the economy many times in the past. Not in recent years because they've been going up.
Yes.
But they were down so low. But he said with economic activity and labor markets in good shape and inflation coming down gradually, he doesn't see any reason for the Fed to move as quickly or cut rates as rapidly as they have in the past. So it hit our financial markets midweek and the indexes dropped some. And, of course, that takes a little bit of the fire out of the hearts of buyers.
Sure.
And, of course, it's kind of a stab in the heart to sellers. But I absolutely agree. We talked last week about employment is doing really well. A lot of jobs added in the month of December.
Yes.
A lot of it was healthcare and government jobs, but a lot more jobs were added. Inflation eked up just a little bit, last month, a little bit more than they thought. And so there's no reason to cut rates and stimulate more spending because more spending just leads to more inflation.
Wally and I were talking on the way up here about that age-old question, which would be better for everyone if rates were to go down or the economy was strong. And, if rates go down but people are losing their jobs, that's not what we want. So I kind of like this middle of the road. It sounds like a pretty healthy situation.
Saw some interest rates this week. Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage, our preferred lender, actually got someone locked in below 6.5%, about a $200,000 purchase price, 30-year loan, not a 15-year, but a 30-year this last week. There's some good rates out there. You have to shop a little bit and find a lender like Chris who is real highly competitive. You can call him anytime at 405-253-2276 because we're calling him all the time to help our buyers. I would say to home buyers, don't plan on rates coming down anytime soon, but do plan on competition increasing. So my question to you, if you're a home buyer, is, are you waiting for the competition to increase before you jump into the market? Because that doesn't make sense. And if you're a home seller, there are buyers looking. They're hearing news like this. A lot of those home buyers are probably thinking, why wait? Does it look to me like the rates are going to come down? Why don't I get in the market now before it gets highly competitive? If you have a home to sell and there's not lots and lots of homes for sale around you, a good time to sell.
Let me ask you guys this. You both got into real estate 36
years ago.
1987, June of
I look like it,
1987.
Cindy doesn't.
Well, I feel like, and we've been doing this for almost a year now, that we have only touched the tip of the iceberg of the knowledge that I need to get out of you guys, because you guys have a wealth of knowledge and we cover some fantastic topics. And today, you want to hear cheering?
Well, Dave, you've been like a
cheering
sponge,
now.
and I'll tell you this: you've learned so much here, and our listeners can do the same. They can, again, go to wallytalkshouses.com
Yes.
and look at a lot of content that's there. If you missed part of our show today, tune back in tomorrow after church or whatever you're doing at noon here on KOKC for the repeat of today's show.
And the podcast as well. Wally mentioned the website. We're also available on all the major podcasts. It makes it real easy to listen to the show. Once again, like Wally, you mentioned, wallytalkshouses.com, which is a great place to get all the information like we got today.
Enjoy being here with you again this week, Dave.
Absolutely. Stay warm.
Have a great weekend.
You've been listening to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr. Heard every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. and replayed on Sundays at noon here on 1520 a.m. and 95.3 FM KOKC. Wally's name is his promise. Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. To speak with Wally directly about selling your home or buying, call or text him to schedule an appointment at 405-330-3000. 405-330-3000. Or go to wallysguarantee.com. That's wallysguarantee.com.